Yes, we are live. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did
Oh,
it. Oh my God.
finally. Oh my
Yes.
God.
So good afternoon, everybody from Amsterdam, and morning nice and early in Chicago. I have a wonderful lady, and we had some adventure before coming to meet you live. Um, Before we start, just to tell you that I've started this live stream about 4 weeks ago, aiming to offer you inspiration and ideas to help you thrive mentally, physically, emotionally, and in your business during these demanding times. And I have special guests that I admire as individuals and as their level of expertise as well. And today, I have a wonderful mentor of mine, um, a person I adore, is Deb Battersby from Chicago. And Deb has devoted decades to the study and application of leadership and success principles. And she combines more than 25 years of leadership roles with more than 12 years of coaching business leaders. And she says that she has a confessed addiction to personal development and transformation. And Deb has distilled her learnings into a proven system to help people master the fundamentals guaranteed to accelerate success in business and in life. And she's passionate about entrepreneurs, about entrepreneurship, and about business leaders. And Deb has made her passion and her mission to help people achieve their vision, amplified a positive impact in the world. And she believes that you are the ones best equipped to solve our world's biggest challenges and embrace our greatest opportunities. Now, she's also a master trainer with Tony Robbins, a very cool woman, and she has a long, long list of achievements and academical degrees and everything. So I'm not gonna read it right now because we're just gonna enjoy her in her wisdom. So welcome, Deb.
Thank
Welcome.
you, Catalina. Thanks for extending the invitation. And I'm really excited to just have a chat and see what kind of things we can share today and share with your audience.
So there is a tradition that we start with a
Oh,
centering, and because we were having this fun of about half an hour of engaging with technological hurdles and everything, I think that the mantra of new beginnings would be very good,
I
very appropriate.
I
so
agree.
so if we just take, I don't know, 10 breaths, 5 breaths, whatever you want, and just remind us new beginnings. I'm not going to guide it. Just connect with your breath and remembers that the breath brings new beginnings always. So let's take a couple of breaths together before we start. New beginnings.
Mm.
We are here. So we are not doing business face to face these days. Huh? We go online and things happen. So things happen. What do we focus on to
Well,
thrive?
it's an interesting thing. I've been thinking an awful lot about, thriving in this particular environment and what are the fundamentals we should be paying attention to in order to make this time a valuable time, a
Yes.
progressive time, to actually turn what appears to be a challenge into, a really great opportunity. And so I was really thinking about, particularly because most of my clients are entrepreneurs, and they're largely impacted by what's going on right now. So I was just trying to figure out if I were to give you 10 principles on what to focus on during this particular time. Several things came together, and most of these are probably common sense to many of you.
Yes.
And even though there are things that we know to do, sometimes we have to be reminded to do them.
Yes.
So I'd like to just share the things that have kind of coalesced for me in terms of what do we do to thrive in this kind of environment. And
Right.
so I've come up with 7 tenets of thriving, so it's my leadership to thrive, template.
Yes.
So we start with the truth. The truth. Oh, by the way, there's 7 T's to make it easy for you to follow. Okay. The first
Yes.
thing we start with is the truth. What's really
Truth.
going on? What is really going on, and what are you really experiencing? And how are the people around you being affected? 2, what's your target? And what I mean by that, excuse me a second, I'll just drink some water.
It's okay because I can place them
No.
into the comments so people can follow us as well. So
And
number one, the truth, and we're
and
gonna get into them in a second. Target
yes,
number 2.
and
Yes.
target is number 2. And it's kind of like, even though this is very uncertain time, you need a target on where you want to be at the end of it. So setting a target for where your efforts need to be directed. The third thing is that thing that I think has the most opportunity for you and for all of us, and that is, excuse me, something called tension.
Okay.
What is the tension that you're experiencing? And tension are all of those stressors, those things that are like,
Yes.
oh my gosh, the worry, the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, the lack of clarity, all of the tension around the dynamics of what's going on right now.
Yes.
The other side of tension, excuse me, I'm not sure what's going on with my throat.
But you can drink always water. That's very
Ah,
important, by the
drink
way.
lots of
Drinking water.
water.
Hi,
Yeah.
Becky Blake. Good to have you here. Very nice seeing you. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for giving me a second there. But the other side of tension is the excitement.
Yes.
Tension is always, there's tension in anticipation. There's tension in excitement. There's tension in creativity. There's tension in looking forward to something. So we want to be looking at the tension, but we want to be looking at the stressful side of it as well as the exciting time of it.
Which is the
Because
sparkle.
yeah, and because this is where a lot of our opportunity is revealed.
Yes.
Because when we get really clear on tension, we have some information that is going to really help us make some very critical decisions. And the fourth piece of, our leadership template is team. Who's on your team? Whose
Yes.
team are you on? What do you need to contribute to your team members, and what do they consistently have that they can contribute to you? And team is a little different in this environment because team is global right now.
Yes.
It's, who's on your team that you could reach out to either encourage, support, collaborate, co-create. There's all kinds of things that you can do around team right now. And the fifth element is talent. Okay, what's your talent? What's your secret sauce? What can you bring to the table now that's going to add the most value to the people that you want to serve?
Yes.
Sixth element is time. Oh my God, this is the secret. This is the one thing that you have more of now than you probably want. Your time, it's kind of like, where can I direct my time? Where do I need to focus my time? There's this beautiful quote in Lord of the Rings, and when Gandalf the wizard talks to Frodo, our little hero, and he says, all you get to do is decide what to do with the time that is given you. And we are given a great opportunity of time right now, and time that can actually be focused in developing any aspect of our life, our business, that we want to focus on. and we'll talk more about time and the real value of time in
Of
a
time,
moment.
yes.
And then the seventh piece of the template is test. And
Yeah.
this is where sometimes we get very caught up in doing things without testing. Is
Yes.
it working? Is it giving me the result that I want? Is it actually moving me toward what I want? Is it fulfilling me in ways that inspire me to keep going forward? So these tenets of leadership are just as effective for personal leadership as they are for any organization that you happen to be involved with. So
Yes.
it was kind of like looking at how do we put all these pieces together so
Exactly.
so we thrive through this environment and come out bigger, better, stronger on the other side of it. And that what we've done during this period actually prepares us to be more, to give more, to be able to impact at an even higher level. So this has been, something that's been over the last few weeks, just kind of coming together, the different
Yes.
pieces of how do we make sure that we cover all of these elements so we don't get stuck in one
Exactly.
aspect of it, that we get to kind of assemble our passage through this period in time.
Yeah, and in a strategic manner,
Yes,
because this gives a little bit of more control, if you like, to people, that on the elements that they can steer instead of freaking out and being cornered about what's going on, right? So
absolutely.
shall we start with the truth?
Yeah, well, the truth is a beautiful thing because one of the, and I've listened to so many brilliant podcasts over the last few weeks, and I'm sure
It's
most of you
amazing
have.
we have the time
Oh my
to do
God!
this, right?
But you know what? It's also about making the time to do it. It's kind of like, there's information out there, there are resources out there that can benefit you during
Yes.
this time. So scheduling the time to do it is important. But what I've learned is that in leadership, the most important thing is that you get honest. What's really going on? So it's truth. What's truth for you? What are you worried about? What are you stressing about? What are you concerned about? What are the things that you feel are out of your control? What are the things that are within your control? What are the people around you concerned about? What is their greatest fear or worry? So get to the truth. And by the way, this is the time to also be very, very honest with the people on your team. One of my clients, we were talking about, this is going to be a real struggle cash flow wise for their
Yes.
company. That
Yes.
even
For
though,
some.
yeah, for for
Maybe,
for
yeah.
this particular company, the reality is that even though they're in the transport industry and they're an essential service, their
Yes.
biggest concern though is collecting money from their customers, and
Yes.
that is going to be a reality. So they have to share with their leadership and their key individuals in the company. This is a critical thing that we haven't had to pay attention to so much in the past because we have good systems in place, but our clients are going to be under a completely different kind of pressure right now. So,
Absolutely.
so we have to pivot quickly to protect ourselves so that we continue to operate efficiently or to even be able to operate by really managing our cash flow very, very carefully.
Yeah.
So these are what I mean by the truth. You cannot pretend that some of these things are going to get settled, they're not going to have an impact. You need to be looking at every facet of your life, every facet of your business, and get dirt honest about how this is really impacting you. And what are the things you can change right now? What are the safeguards you can put in place that are going to at least help you get through?
Yeah.
It's kind of like if there's holes in your bucket, plug them. If you're
Yeah.
spending money unnecessarily, stop doing it.
Yeah.
So it's get honest, be truthful. And
Yes.
the most important thing we can ever do in leadership, self leadership, is be honest with ourselves. You know,
Exactly. And many people find this difficult.
oh, sure. During this, social quarantining or social distancing, the oh my gosh, how many of us could end up 10 pounds heavier on the other side of this? And it's kind of like it.
Seriously, how many clients of mine have educated women and men say, "Oh, I have a problem. I keep gaining weight in
Exactly.
this period." Yeah.
And here is one of the things where we don't get honest with ourselves. We don't get honest that, we're not as active. Honestly, if you're working from home, you're not as active as you have been.
Yeah.
You're not walking up and down the stairs. You're not walking out to your car. You're not walking through the parking lot. You're not going off to visit clients. You're not as active. So you got to get real honest with the fact that this is a time where you're going to have to decide to get more physically active. Otherwise, what's going to come through on the other side of this is not going to be what you want. So this is another one of those things that
Uh,
getting honest isn't always attractive, but
yes.
necessary.
And one of the things that just because you brought the conversation here, um, one beautiful habit that my husband and I have created, we go much more together to walk the dog.
Oh
The
no.
dog is completely dead and we are getting in shape and shape. And then what the thing is, because we walk about 10,000, we do the 10,000 steps together anyway, but then we have time to have a deep, meaningful conversation.
Yes.
So it's great for the heart, it's great for my butt, and it's great for the relationship. The dog is completely tired, but that's a different story. But there are small things. If we
Yeah.
stop and be, honest with ourselves, where can we make small shifts,
You
and
know,
be truthful about where we stand, right?
exactly. I love that. You see, it's kind of like you're being heart smart. You're being good in strengthening your cardiovascular endurance. You're doing something good for your body. But by connecting with your relationship, you're actually also
Yeah,
uplifting your emotional heart. So
yeah.
that's very cool. And
So,
I love that. To be honest with you, one of the things, if you're going to be on podcasts, I spend a lot of time on podcasts while on my treadmill.
mm,
Watching Zoom conferences or things like that, and I'm on my treadmill at the same time. Otherwise, I'm one of those people that's going to be 20 pounds heavier on the other side of this. That is not okay.
no, but you're right. Just the truth actually can open doors to beautiful things, like it happened to me with my husband, because I was facing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
My butt was increasing, and that was not really where I wanted to go, right? So the truth, face the truth, because it's difficult facing the truth, but
Yeah.
the miracle is there, right?
I love the truth. I really do. And most people feel that sometimes facing the truth is confrontational, especially if you have to face the truth with a team member or a family member or something like that. But I,
Exactly.
I actually love the word confrontation. And the reason that I love it is because I take it very literally. To confront is only to face something, to bring something to the forefront, to bring it right out in front of you and face it. So to me, when you think about to confront the truth, it's one of the most beautiful, powerful things you can ever do for yourself
Yes.
or anyone else.
Yes.
So
So cultivate courage and face the
yeah,
truth, people.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. The truth. Number two, target.
Target. The target is, and this is, what I'm sure that this audience is just one long list of achievers. So targets are not new for you. You do this all the time. So establishing a target is, something very familiar for you. But let's make this a different kind of target. This is really a target about who do you want to be at the end of this lockdown, this quarantine,
These
this
times. Yeah.
this crisis. Not just what do you want to have completed, but who do you want to be? What do you want to be different in your life? What do you want to be different in perhaps your emotional strength, your your physical strength, your spiritual strength, your mental strength. Set some personal goals of how you want to evolve through this challenging time. I think you're all going to set business goals. You're all going to set financial goals. You're going to have to deal with the reality of this. And there's additional time these days to focus on developing yourself. So set some of those personal targets. It is so easy. If you're not commuting, you got to be saving an hour or a couple hours a day.
Okay, yeah.
If you're not having those got-a-minute meetings with all the people on your staff, you're regaining some of the time. So this is an opportunity to set some of those personal targets. You know what? If you want to become a guitar player, now's the time. If you want to learn another language, maybe now is the time. Let's take advantage of some of this extra time and put into this time frame those things that are going to excite you about developing yourself. So
So
make it fun.
love of learning is one of the character strengths we all have. Of course, some appreciate this more than others, but if you want to become also more well-rounded person, it's time to uplift this love of learning and think, what are the things that you always wanted to learn and you never had time, because now you just got a gift of time,
Yeah.
right?
And maybe there's something you just want to become more skillful at.
Yes.
And that only happens with practice. So practice developing those skills and those talents that you love, or that you believe are going to take you, your
Yes.
family, your business to the next level. So it's an opportunity.
Tension.
Tension, yeah. Well, like I said, tension is many people on this call may be participating in the Beautiful State training that is being offered to the Tony Robbins trainers today. And Beautiful State is all about, recognizing where your emotions are at and then shifting your focus, shifting your intention to get back into a beautiful, resourceful, empowering state quickly. Well, tension is kind of like the opposite of that. I'm not suggesting that you get back into a beautiful state. I'm actually suggesting that you pay attention to your tension. Pay attention to your tension. What is stressing you? And many of you who may know of my passion for the Freedom Point work, which is
Yes.
something that has evolved for me for 20 years now, is that every single emotion has a gift in it. It has a beautiful intention behind it. So in this environment, you want to be paying attention to what is stressing you. Where are your tension points? Because it's very likely that those are the tension points for the people on your team. They're the tension points for your client. And figuring out, okay, if fear, worry, doubt, and anxiety are building up right now, I would like to invite you to just sit with that for a minute. Just actually allow yourself to experience that. And I'm not going to ask you to go into a spiral and never recover. That's not what we're here to do. What
No.
we're actually going to do is sit with that for a moment and just take out a sheet of paper or a journal and ask this question: why are you here? I truly believe, and God, I've been testing this for so long. I have absolute total conviction around it because I've
Yes.
never found an experience where it wasn't true. And I've had thousands upon thousands of sessions. So the truth is, there is a gift in this experience.
Yes.
Anxiety says, okay, it's time to get your ducks in a row. You have some vulnerabilities that you haven't addressed yet. There are things you need to do that you're not doing. There are, maybe there are threats on the horizon that you need to take an honest look at. So anxiety usually is a tremendous wake-up call that says, There are things that need to be done and you're ignoring them.
Exactly.
So that is one of the lessons in anxiety. Fear also says, fear is one of those beautiful emotions that rarely, and if I really could impress this upon you, fear is one of those emotions that rarely means stop. It
Hmm.
rarely means don't go there. It usually means be cautious. It usually means prepare. It usually means you're stepping into the unknown. Be alert. It usually means that there are things you don't know that you need to explore or you need to discover. There's information available that you
Yes.
don't have. Go get it.
Hmm.
So fear is rarely meant to be that ball and chain that most of us perceive it as. It is truly one of those things that says, and it can definitely mean prepare for fight or flight. And right now, it's saying prepare for fight. Do not take this situation lying down. Get up and take action.
Yes.
Get up and do what you can do to take control of your situation. So it is definitely fight or flight, but it's saying get up and fight.
Yes.
There's nowhere to flee right now. You're locked down at home. So get up and fight. You don't run away from this. Step into it, lean into it, attack it head on. So
Yes.
fear is it. And if your customers, your clients, the people in your team are in a place of fear, then you want to rally the troops. You want to
Yes.
get them to just face that fear and move straight into it. Okay, what are we going to do? What can we do? What are the resources we have? What can we do as a team? How can we attack this head on? Make
Yes.
sense?
So very much so. So one of the idea is if you don't uh, have the um, not ability, but if you're not accustomed to get in touch with your emotions, now is the time to do it and develop a communication system with your body and with your inner being, because this is speaking about truth and everything is the truth of who you are, and all the emotions are there to protect you in a way or another.
Absolutely.
So being curious and stopping, and then stopping, slowing down and getting in touch with them to find out what's the message, it's
Yeah.
one of the success factors, instead of repressing again like many people do, repressing or suppressing emotions.
And once you
So
get in touch with it, then you get to
yes,
swing the pendulum to the tension, to the opportunity, to the anticipation, to the possibility, to the
yes.
excitement. So you can.
Speaking of excitement, we move to excitement.
Well, and the beautiful thing is the tension there, tension, in order for tension to exist, there's a push or a pull from two opposite directions.
Yes,
Otherwise there's no tension at all.
yes,
So we want to recognize that we can take advantage of that tension. The tension is okay. What can we look forward to? What can we help people? What can we create to help people look forward to something? What can we give that is going to create excitement, encouragement, positivity, possibility, all of those things. So we want to use both sides of tension. And Catalina, you mentioned that the all of our emotion has it has some intention. And ever since I've been teaching the Freedom Point work, is there are some very key fundamentals. Number one, every emotion comes to serve. Nothing you feel is designed to hurt you. I swear. It is designed to guide you or alert you. It is not
yes,
designed to hurt you.
yes,
So, and that so everything comes to serve. Everything is designed for your highest good, every single emotion. And I hope you'll test me and challenge me on that someday because I love proving that to be true. And the reality is that all emotion, we talk a lot about emotional intelligence. What I love about emotion is all emotion is intelligent. all of it. It has a wisdom of its own, and it has a powerful message to communicate.
Oh,
So,
at many levels. Yes, absolutely.
exactly.
Absolutely. So, I'm very excited. So, the next
And
one.
is all about team. Team is like, okay, and first of all, when you think about team, think of the team within yourself. I
Yes.
know it's funny. We talk about, in Tony's work, we talk about psychology of personalities. There are many resources within you that you may not be tapping into right now. So you want to explore your own inventory of different contexts and times in your life when certain aspects of your personality or certain personalities have shown up to serve you. So the
Yes.
first thing is take inventory of your inner team. Your coach, your critic, your cheerleader, your get shit done personality, whoever,
Your dreamer
your
and
dreamer, your athlete, your warrior, whoever. Take inventory of those personalities and how they might be able to serve you and your team during this particular time. Next, you go outside yourself and go, who's my team? Who is my family team? Who are my friends' team? Who are my business team? Who's on my team? And importantly, whose team am I on that I need to show up for?
yes,
This is one of the things that's going to really help each of us grow the most, is when we take the focus off ourselves and we put it on to the people around us who could benefit from our support, our assistance, our collaboration, um, whatever that is. So it's team, personal, inner team, external team.
team.
Who is there for you? How can you work with your team to create better results for yourself, your family, your clients, your customers, whoever you're serving? But also, where do you need to show up and be a better team player?
Exactly.
So, team,
Part of the leadership is following and cooperating with others and being the team
absolutely.
player.
And I think we find that in collaboration,
Yes.
when we're looking at a common goal or a common outcome, that we become more creative and more resourceful, and genius emerges that somehow or other would elude us when we're working on our own. I'm a strong collaborator. I love collaborating with people to create
Yes.
new possibilities and just new ways of looking at things and new ways of
Yes.
doing things. So take advantage of
Beautiful.
team right now. Bring your
Yes.
team together.
Inner and
And
outer.
outer. Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Time.
Well, the next piece actually is talent.
Talent.
Talent
Yes.
is, what are your gifts? What are your strengths? What are the things that you just do intuitively, do naturally? This is where you can bring your greatest support to your team too. What's your gift? What is the thing that you're talented at that the people around you need? This is also a big opportunity for you to identify what's an income stream for you. Where's your talent? Who needs it? And how can you offer it in this environment? Because talent not only can bring your team together and create better results, but it can also help you take a look at where your gifts are at, what do you have to offer, and how could you offer them differently in the current environment. So you want to
Yeah.
look at talent, and the talent of your team members. Amazing things will emerge. Then
Yes.
the thing that I love about time, our next component, is when I look at all the other elements of this formula or this template, it seems to me that each of them plus one another, like truth plus target plus tension plus team plus talent, they keep adding
On top of
value
it. Yes.
to the whole system, to the result. But time is different. Time is not an additive, time is a multiplier.
Yes.
Time is a powerful multiplier. In fact, it is the most powerful compounding impact we have. That when we talk about expertise, It's always, we talk about the 10,000 hours. It's time, that it is where you spend your time that will determine where your results are going to be at the end of this, this crisis. But it's
Yes.
also going to determine what the results are going to be at the end of your life, at the end of the year, at the end of your decade. Where do you invest your time? Time is your multiplier, and it is the one thing that we squander the most. It is the thing that we pretend is free. We think that and we waste it, we squander it, we misuse it, we misdirect it, we pretend it's free. We don't put appropriate value on it when
Yes.
it is. We talk about time is money. Time is more than money.
It is the most expensive and exclusive things because it's our life force. It's our
Yeah. And we go back to our friend Gandalf, and he says, all you get to do is decide what to do with the time that is given you. We
yes.
don't know how much time is going to be given us. We have
No.
no idea. We think that it's indefinite. So we don't put the appropriate value on it. I'll tell you what, if right now you need to put time into marketing because you've done none of it, and that would be me. I've invested no time in marketing myself or
Yeah.
my services over the last 10 years, because I haven't had to. But it also means that I haven't invested the time to take my skill set to a broader audience, because
Yes.
I haven't invested the time to do that. And so time is the resource that you are being given in massive abundance right now. Recognize that, use that time. It is your multiplier. You squander it, and you will get more of the things you didn't do. You will get more of the things you don't want, because you didn't direct your time. If you spend your time sitting on the couch, you will become even more of a couch potato on the other side of this. And chances are you'll be a bigger couch potato, you know? So, where do you
And,
spend your time? It's
and,
going to compound your result whether you like it or not.
yeah. And think about also that the relation, how we view time, is also how we view our worth. Because if we do not appreciate the time, and we think that this is that we don't appreciate ourselves, we don't appreciate our value.
Well, and you know what? You're so right that how we, oh my gosh, many of you know our friend Lola, who's one of our trainers. I love Lola because Lola has this relationship with time that is probably one of the most profound I've ever seen, because she really does ask the question, is this worth my time? Every single minute of her day, is this a good place to put my time? If you're thinking, I'm going to binge watch the next Netflix series, is that investment of your time going to produce the results you want on the other side? And this is where we also have to come back to the truth. The truth is, where you spend your time will determine the results you're going to have tomorrow, next week, a month from now, the end of the COVID situation, the end of
Yes.
the year. So, time, please, it's your multiplier. Do be conscious of it, embrace it, protect it, use it to your greatest advantage. This is where leadership really shows up. Leaders know where to invest their time. They know that we go back to the Pareto principle, the
Yeah.
20% of your time that's going to produce 80% of the
80%.
result. You start making that 20%, 30%, or 40%. Now we are talking about monumental,
Yes.
exponential compounding of
Yes.
results.
Yes.
So time is
It's
your
one of my
friend.
favorite. Oh, I love it.
Time is
I
your
love
friend
time.
or your enemy, depending on how you use it.
Yes. And speaking of self-love, because I hear all these nice things we can do to ourselves. Well, appreciate time and then think about how you invest your time. That's also self-care, big time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, taking time to renew and rejuvenate is the kindest thing that you can do and the smartest thing can do. Because if you completely burn yourself to a crisp, you become useless for a
Hmm.
longer period of time.
Yes,
So, time is also part of the sharpen the saw.
exactly.
Take the time to go back and sharpen the saw because, again, it will make you more effective in how you use your time moving forward. So it's a beautiful part of the formula, as are all of these, all of these tenets, because they all have impact. But time
Yes,
is the one you really want to be mindful of your investment.
yes,
And then the final piece of, my Thrive template is test. And this is, you test whether something's working for you or not. Is it getting you the results? Is it uplifting you? Is it making you stronger? There are certain times when people get extremely caught up in doing one thing one way and they develop a great strength. And yet, what they want to look at is, are they developing all the strengths they need? I think CrossFit training is one of those beautiful training programs that goes, hey, we're not just going to work your cardio, we're not just going to work your biceps, we're actually going to work the whole body, because we can overstrengthen one of the area of the body that actually can create challenges.
yes,
So we want to be testing, how is what we're doing impacting the whole, and is it helping us progress? And by the way, when you test, don't test too soon. It's kind of like you can't plant a seed and go back and look and see tomorrow if it's producing
yes,
a result. You do have
yes.
to you have to trust that there's an investment of time that's going to be required for that
Yeah,
shoot to show up. But as you start to see that, you want to notice, is it working? Am I getting stronger? Am I getting more adept? Am I becoming more effective? Am I getting the results with my family? Am I getting the results with my relationship? Am I helping my clients in the way that I want
yes,
to? So
yes.
we want to test it.
And
So
it comes when you test, it comes again, connects with the piece of truth. Because if this doesn't work, don't just run faster in the wrong direction. Just
true.
start again and face what it is and change the direction or change the elements.
Well, and it's and one of the things I love about Tony Robbins is that, how long do you try until you get the result? So if you try something, it doesn't work, what do? You try something else, and if that doesn't
Yes,
work, you try something else,
yes,
and if that doesn't work, and by the way, that's why I love entrepreneurs, honestly. If something doesn't work, they go, okay, that didn't work, what else can we do?
something. Yes,
Let's try something else. And that's why, Catalina, as you introduced me at the beginning of our conversation here, you mentioned that I am passionate about entrepreneurs, and I really am. The creativity, the ingenuity, the courage. It's mostly the courage and the tenacity that goes with
and
entrepreneurship.
perseverance. You just go.
Yeah,
You
you
don't
just keep
stop
going.
when you
That
get the first no or the 20th no, maybe. I don't know.
yeah.
Depends on the target.
And entrepreneurs, the environment changes.
Yeah,
A governmental rule could change something that impacts how you do your business. That could shut down a whole sector of your business
yes,
in an instant. And yet, the entrepreneur goes, okay, that's reality. That's what we're doing. What's next? What else can we do? How else can we solve this problem? And it is that commitment to possibility, that commitment to
Yes.
innovation, that is always going to be
Yeah.
the the one thing that's going to take us to the new discovery, the new possibility, the new solution. So I love you, entrepreneurs. I do think you're going to, every single day you change the world. Coming through the COVID experience, you're going to change the world in even bigger and better ways than you ever have before. So I'm excited to see what you're going
And
to deliver.
and for those entrepreneurs in corporations, right? In Fortune
Yeah.
500 and in big companies, there they have the entrepreneurial spirit as well. So it's
Absolutely,
so
because they
that's
I love that, and thank you for bringing that up. It's the intrapreneur. It's still your commitment to innovation. It's your commitment to finding a better way. It's your commitment to solving a problem even
yes,
more effectively. And that is a huge part of the entrepreneurial spirit. And you don't have to run a company to have it.
yes.
It's what you bring to the table everywhere you go.
So thank you so much. Let's recap. The truth number one,
Okay.
target.
Yep.
Target number two, tension number three, excitement,
Team.
team, talent,
Yes.
time.
Time and test.
Yay! And we have them.
And
Thank
we
you
did
so
it.
much. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and wisdom. And it's always a pleasure to connect with you. So,
Likewise. I
so
do our
yes.
visitors, does our audience have the opportunity to ask questions or?
So we didn't have questions because the as you know, we were planned to go at 5 o'clock, well, my time, and then the
Yeah, yeah.
technology crap. So, but I will put actually on the different groups and the sites, and we will get comments there. I'm sure.
Excellent. By the
I'm
way,
sure.
I do have a handout that I can provide for all of your listeners.
Would be great.
Um, and what I would ask is if they could just Facebook message me, because unfortunately I don't have the URL handy. But if they Facebook message me, or
I'll put it in the comments actually.
yeah,
Um,
or even email me, Deb at debbattersby.com is fine.
Deb at debbattersby.com.
Yep.
And did I write it correctly? Deb Battersby. And can you tell me the handout is about?
It's the Thrive leadership template. So it's got
Okay,
all
Thrive
10 of,
Leadership. Okay, I'll put it in the leadership template. So then, because this, I'm going to post it on LinkedIn as well. So it's easier for the people that to just send you an email directly. But I'll put them because this will go to different
and
destinations.
do you know what I can do is once I'll have that URL for you, and I'll just allow you to send that to you, so you can post it, and I'll post it, and that way
Awesome.
anybody who wants to have access to it will be able to have it.
Anything to help. So
Okay.
thank you so much. So can we maybe end again with a moment to maybe this time to send our love and to all people that are suffering during this period, physically or mentally or emotionally, and to those that lost people. So just a couple of breaths with love, and we close. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay happy, and spread your magic. Thank you, everybody. You as well. Stay happy, stay healthy, and spread your magic. Thank you so much for being with us. Bye.
My pleasure. Bye.